Good morning, Eastern Carolina. It's Sunday, June 29th. Thanks so much for waking up with us. I'm Juliana Valencia. Atlantic Beach looks calm right now. Beautiful, actually, but within the next 36 hours, it could look completely different. This is where the two officers that were wounded in that New Bern shootout were taken. The New Bern police chief tells me that one of the officers has left the hospital. The other is still in care here at Vidant. In Pitt County, Trooper Coley tells me the number of wrecks has gone down compared to last year, but that hasn't kept them out of the #1 spot. That's in Atlantic Beach, and as you can see, the damage is pretty extensive. You can see a tree has been torn by the winds. Also back in there, that's a car underneath the rubble. But as she was nearing the street, she saw the customer off of Highway 17 waving his arms to flag her down. It's snowing right now, but it wasn't like this earlier in the night. It was a mixture of freezing rain and sleet, and it's too dark to tell, but the roof has been torn off of this home with a little bit of tag away and some elbow grease. The graffiti comes right off. Let's take a look at that lifeguard stand over there. Moments before the 6 o'clock show, there was a yellow flag hanging from it. Suspect used a rock from the railroad tracks, which is about 40 feet away from the store.
And throwing down the salt you have at your home will work at the same speed and effectiveness as the rock salt that DOT uses.
Plus, authorities arrest several people in connection with a meth lab bust. We were the only ones on scene. Good morning, Eastern Carolina. It's Sunday, March 16th. Thanks so much for waking up with us. I'm Juliana Valencia. First look at your forecast. How's it looking outside this morning, Jonathan?
Good morning, Juliana.
Road rage. Police say the suspect rammed the victim's car and then pinned her between the vehicles when she got out to check the damage. TripAdvisor recently released the top 10 states for the best barbecue, and North Carolina gets the #2 spot. Dallas is taking action to lessen some of the waves of children spilling across the southern border. ABC's Michelle Franzen reports on that effort. Arrest a bank robber armed with a knife and a walker. Investigators say this surveillance video shows 78-year-old Russell Cooper at the bank in Boynton Beach, Florida. About a Georgia father charged with murder after leaving his toddler in a hot car. This is as he calls in from jail to his son's funeral. A young mother jumps from a burning apartment building with her toddler in her arms. She says her injuries are so severe she may never be able to walk again. We now know the name of a local Marine who died during a semi-annual physical fitness test Friday morning. It happened at Camp Johnson, and base officials say it appears Lieutenant Colonel Andrew Reed died from what appears to be a massive heart attack. News Channel 12's Katie Harris has the story. The man accused of raping, kidnapping, and stabbing his ex-girlfriend, then driving away with the couple's 2-year-old daughter, is back in Pitt County this morning. We'll be right back with a final look at your forecast. We've been working on the story in our newsroom for several days now, making calls and talking to McDonald's first to make sure the customers' allegations are true and to find out what McDonald's is doing about the incident. A McDonald's drive-thru. It's a quick choice for food where your order is typically the same no matter which location you go to.
I ordered a Southern-style chicken sandwich for myself and a Happy Meal for my daughter.
But for Charlie Madice, this Morehead City McDonald's drive-thru didn't hand her the order she expected.
I went to go put my mayonnaise on the sandwich, and that's when I noticed it.
She says a swastika had been burned onto the bun of her chicken sandwich with butter.
Is this a joke? Does somebody really think that this is funny?
This anti-Semitic symbol was used by the Nazi Party in Germany during the Holocaust. Her grandfather had fought in World War II.
Many people died under that symbol because of it, and it's not something that should be taken lightly, and it's not something that should be thrown around.
She says when she went inside, employees offered to replace it.
I really didn't have an appetite at that point, so I said, I'd rather have my money back.
Madice says even with the money, she didn't feel satisfied. She wants the incident addressed at a larger scale.
Maybe it needs to be a part of training. Maybe it needs to be brought up more often so that people know that this is not okay.
We went inside this McDonald's to ask the store manager about the incident and were redirected to corporate, who then sent us an email with a statement from the local owner saying the employee had been fired. A decision Madice is happy with.
I'm a loyal customer, and that's why I don't want people like that, and I don't want them to have people like that representing them.
Because she thinks it's important to coexist.
I knew the minute I walked into Alex's room that I wasn't bringing him home. That's what I felt right at the very beginning. And I didn't. He didn't come home.
It's a moment Stacy Thalmann can still feel, a moment she'll never forget.
This cross, this is the cross that my son was wearing the night he got killed.
March 28th, the night her son, New Bern police officer Alexander Thalmann, was fatally shot.
I lost my only son. I lost my only child. A child I spent 7 years trying to adopt, find.
A son who Stacy says always found the fun in life.
Everybody who knew him will tell you he had a great sense of humor. He had an understanding. He had a special way of looking at the world.
People who, in turn, grew to love him during his 7 months on the New Bern police force.
When we were doing the funeral procession through New Bern, I was astonished at how many people turned out and the support that the community gave them, gave Alex. I want them to remember that.
Remember that officers like Thalmann serve and sacrifice every day. Remember a man who loved his job. And remember a son who is still loved and missed every single day.
He was a wonderful son. He is a wonderful son.
Driving, speeding. This is what I have to work with.
This video by tow truck driver Ivan Barnett captures him working on Sewell Bridge in Jacksonville. What it also captures is people failing to move over. The move over law doesn't only apply to law enforcement. It goes for all emergency and public service vehicles, including tow trucks. I went out with another tow truck driver, Derek Smith, to see if vehicles would move over for him. With heavy traffic during the lunch hour near Camp Lejeune's main gate, only a couple cars slowed down or moved over. Sunday, I met with another tow truck driver, Mark Kenneth, to see if weekend traffic on Western Boulevard would be different.
You know, people break down all the time, and you don't know where you're going to break down at.
He says people usually aren't paying attention.
We have people coming up on us 100 feet out. Typically, like this BMW has the open lane, they could get further over.
I decided to put on a vest and try for myself to see if people would move over for me, and as you can see, a lot of them aren't. Highway Patrol tells me that a big reason for this is because a lot of people don't know about the move over law.
You get people from all over the world that are here in Jacksonville, and not everybody knows what the North Carolina laws are, and you know, if you don't know, you know, I mean, what can you do?
The move over law is a little more than a decade old. Kenneth just wants more awareness.
I've actually had a vehicle come so close that it made me uncomfortable to where I actually ducked and rolled under the bed.
I tried to find statistics specific to move over citations concerning tow truck drivers. The North Carolina Department of Public Safety tells me they didn't have those stats, but that there have been at least 904 citations so far this year. Reporting in the studio, Juliana Valencia for Fox Eastern Carolina News.